Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Tougies Take podcast. I am back here this week alongside, Mr. Endo Mills, tagging in for one sim for the win. Everyone's been a busy boy as of late, but Endo is here, and dare I say, at least for those of you on the visual side of this podcast, you get a special treat today. It's a fireside chat with Endo Mills live from his new apartment.
Yeah, so I took a week off. As everyone knows, I missed last week's episode. We're talking about NHL 24 and all that fun stuff, mostly NHL 24. But I got everything packed up, ready to go, and here you go, big reveal. First time at the new place, first broadcast. I have a 4K fireplace. I even have like a smoke thing in the back too, so that way it helps with my allergies. And yeah, so I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. Hi.
So I will say we have not a ton to talk about, which is okay. We are a little bit short on time for today's show, so we want to get right down to business.
Yes.
Business. We're all about the business. And because we're all about the business, we need to mention, as always, this podcast is brought to you by our lovely friends at manscaped.com. You can use code Tougie at checkout. That's TOUGIE for 20% off your order and free shipping. Manscaped.com. The best, the peak, the pinnacle in men's grooming. Grooming in general, let's be honest. That's what we have preached for years, and it continues to be true.
Yeah, they paid for my my mortgage for this place. Also, just a note, my audio just got a lot better because Elgato's a pain in the ass because they randomly turned off all my filters. So if I sound like shit before the podcast, I apologize. I should sound a lot better right now. And yeah, bear with me for this first week. I might stream later tonight too because I'm just going to be home after hockey. So yeah, it's a work in progress. Whole different setup and everything. So yeah.
Delightful. Sin is now aware, by the way, of the setup thing.
Oh man!
He turned on his webcam, and I was cracking up.
He lost it. Lights were on. Just sees the fireplace in the back. All that fun stuff. We've been here for 2 weeks now, and moving is a pain in the ass, especially when you're downsizing to a smaller place. I mean, it's great because you have to go through a whole bunch of stuff and, reorganize everything, get reacquainted with everything. And we still have I think we have 12 crates in storage. We're using a storage locker that my dad was like, yeah, my dad can take it over and put everything there. Speaking of storage, Manscaped. Use Manscaped products. This is right in the middle of the segue of our ad read, so I apologize to Manscaped for derailing this completely. But yeah, clean yourself up. As I said earlier before, it's Frosh Week. It still is Frosh Week at this point. Frosh is a whole entire month here in Toronto, at least. Yeah, they party schools. Everything here is party schools. Whether you're going to Laurier, whether you're going to Queens, or you're going to UFT, any other fucking universities or colleges or anything like that. I was actually going back to college. Anyway, clean yourself up, smell good, smell nice, use Manscaped, promo code Tougie, get your percentage off and that free worldwide shipping. Get it, got it, good, smell nice, your balls will thank you, and whoever's around you will thank you, because we all know when you're studying for school, sometimes you study too much, you don't have time to shower. Take a fucking shower. Flat out. Use it. We got products for everything. Your balls, your pits. I should just use the roller on there earlier before. So yeah, clean yourself with Manscaped, preferably with Manscaped.
Manscaped.com. Touch grass.
Not wrong.
When Frosh Week lasts longer than someone might at an NHL head coaching position as well. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Before that, let's get to some viewer questions. Why not? There's always some doozies. And of course, as always, link to the Discord in the description to get your questions in for this particular segment. We start off, Scroopy Noopers. What is a law in the US or Canada which you would be willing to break to go to jail? For me in New Hampshire, a citizen may not relieve themselves while looking up on Sundays. Or in Minnesota, St. Cloud, hamburgers may not be eaten on Sundays. And lastly, in Vermont, it's illegal to deny the existence of God. Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, what's a law you'd be willing to break to go to jail?
Vermont, God ain't real. I've died. I ain't seen him. All I saw was my reflection. I am him. Himothy. No, looking up while peeing on Sundays while relieving themselves. That's I gotta when you're holding in a pee. You ever watch like a movie in a movie theater and like you just have too much soda and you're like, oh, I want to watch this movie or whatever, and you go to the washroom immediately after and you have that pee, that satisfying pee that feels good. Yes.
Not on Sundays.
Not on Sundays. Not on the day of the Sabbath. I love how they're all related to the Sabbath day. That's the one thing that is hilarious about it. So you can see one nation under God. Except for the one where if you say he's not real, like, whoo, metal bars for you, buddy.
God, what's a law I'd be willing to break? Now, keep in mind, it says jail, not prison. So you can't do anything super serious. Like, you can't kill someone because that's a prison sentence. This is just a jail sentence. This is a temporary hold, unless it's... Well, then again, this is the U.S. where people spend years and years in jail instead of in prison because our system's fucked. I would throw I would throw a pie in the face of a politician or someone who owns a social media platform, as to not incriminate myself over who I would throw this pie in the face of. I would gladly go to jail for assaulting somebody with a dessert. I feel like that's a good way to go.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Yeah. Okay, I will say one thing. For people who are watching the visual side, I was kind of freaking out for a second because I forgot to turn off the sound on this fucking fireplace. So I thought there was an actual fire going on in my place. And that's why I was looking around, took my headphone off. Like, I can still hear what you were saying. But I was like, I'm like, what's that sound? And then I looked back and I'm like, oh, my stupid ass has the fireplace on. And I forgot to turn off the fucking volume. So, yeah. I'm very tired.
Well done. Oh God, let's see. Up next from Major Glory, what's everyone's favorite season? Personally, mine is autumn, they say. Endo, what's your favorite season?
Winter. I like winter. It's cold. And that's when I die in the Arctic tundras. That was the weather last year for the, snow removal and doing all that stuff. I don't think I'm doing that this year. I think for the first time in a long time, I have to shovel my own driveway. Oof. So
welcome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's not even a driveway; it's a walkway, and it's uneven concrete, so it's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna salt that bitch. I'm just gonna, like you said before on the podcast, the pocket sand, just fucking throwing the salt.
Fucking pocket sand.
Oh man, not pocket sand. It was a wrestler who used to throw sand at people's face or whatever. Who was it?
It was salt. It was Mr.
Salt,
Fuji.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mr. Fuji. The reason why is because I mentioned him specifically is I was looking back at old clips from the podcast because of stuff on the broadcast they're doing. I'm actually looking at old clips on Twitch on your channel because you're so popular, and I just looking back at so many of them. I keep going back to the NHL 2K ones because those were good. But yeah, definitely going to be salting the crap out of my my walkway. But yeah, I just like winter because it's cold. You get hot drinks. You don't have to you can take off layers if you're too hot in the winter versus the summer. You just can't you basically have to take your skin off, and that would burn even more. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely an autumn guy as well at this point. Give me that sweet fall weather, sweatshirt weather, without having to shovel 3 times a week because of where I live. Although, so fun fact for the upcoming wedding, we're not asking really for anything specific. It's just more of like hey, we have shit to do around our house. So if you want to help us on that front, hey, it's a wedding and give us money, which is what people normally do.
The money.
The number one thing on that list though is a fucking snowblower. I'm so hopeful. Oh, so hopeful. God, that would be the greatest gift of all, aside from finding this woman who's like, yes, I will marry you. It's this idea of fucking snowblower, because I have like, it's not like a super long driveway, like it is, but it's
Right.
also kind of wide because there's enough space for two vehicles.
Mhm.
And last year, because again, weather here fucking sucks. Last year it was a combination of snow and rain. So our driveway over the winter continually started to shrink and like collapse in from the sides with ice. And it's because there was just one night where it's like the shit's too heavy to shovel, and then bam, it froze over. Like literally, I broke a shovel. I'm like, all right, I got to go out there and try to shovel this shit. I couldn't shovel it. It was so, like the sleet was so goddamn heavy. But a snowblower would have taken care of that. So yeah, I'd like full use of my driveway in the winter. Autumn's better. Send money.
Like how, like for a blow dryer, fucking snowblower.
Can you imagine trying to clear a driveway with a blow dryer?
Oh man, hey, some people do it with your car. You know, just heat up the top of the car. I was gonna say, is it like one of those sit down fucking snowblowers? Like you can sit down on it and just kind of ride it out. Like that'd be sick.
I imagine it'd be more of a push. I imagine it'd be more of a push. Yeah.
Yeah, I used a bunch of those when we were doing the snow removal. God, such a fucking time saver. It was like I used to be out there for like 10, 12 hours because we have like different sites to hit, and the guy running it would maximize his profits by having like one crew of like 5 guys instead of having like multiple crews. Yeah, I mean it was great, more money in my pocket, but you saw how I was for like a good month. I was just completely out of it.
Yeah. Last winter took its toll on you.
Oh,
Definitely
mentally, physically. Yeah, I was making bank, but I just wanted to die. I wanted to KMS myself.
Speaking of dying, next question from Young Burrito. If you had to be one dictator, who would you be? The reason why
Justin
I say
Trudeau.
Well, hey, you got the right skin tone already.
Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, man.
We have fun here, don't we? We have fun. The reason why I segued that in that way is if you like Google like notable dictators, it's always date of death, date of death, date of death. They don't last. And then, onthisday.com, the worst and most famous dictators, and they like rank them. So like number 1 is a certain Austrian. So
General
good on him. He's number 1.
Oh shit. No way.
But it's like they fucking rank them.
Fucking Smitty Werberman Jensen. He was number 1. Like
He
what?
was.
Why? I don't get it, man.
I don't know, man. Apparently there was a Romanian dictator that I've never heard of, so shout out to Romania.
Speaking of Romans, how often do you think of the Roman Empire per week? Because that's a new trend on Twitter.
The fiance asked me that last night.
Oh my god. Everyone's like, oh, once a week is in plumbing and all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what I think of every week? How I'm not gonna kill. No, no, I think of every week is not that. Mostly it's hockey. How I'm gonna put food on the table and that. I'm pretty sure the Romans did the same thing. So I guess maybe I was thinking exactly like the Roman Empire in a way.
Yeah. We were watching Jeopardy, and there was a question about Rome on Thursday night. It was about what did and I knew it. Of course, I got it right. It was about Hadrian and what did he rebuild, which was the Pantheon. And she's like, pause. So how often do you think about Rome? And she's like, because on TikTok, people apparently think about it like once a day. And I'm like, look, I'm we've covered this on the show before. Like, I'm a nerd for ancient Rome. It's not once a day, man. It's probably not even once a week, but it's a subject I like. But it's very funny to me that became a trend of. So ask your man how often he thinks about Rome. It's beautiful, and that's why it's the episode title. So there you go, everybody. Anyway, what dictator would we be? I feel like we avoided the question perfectly up until that. Whatever one. No, I don't want to say like whatever one didn't die a horrible death because most of them did. I don't want it. Can I just kill myself instead? I don't want to be a dictator.
It's
That's
like,
not
you know,
fun.
guess I'll die. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Can I skip to the part where I shoot myself in the bunker just without having to go through everything else to get there?
yeah, you know,
Please?
I'd want to avoid the 6 million. You know, if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need demented white boys 70 years in the future being like, you know, actually, like, no, just let's skip some
Man.
steps.
Oh man, did you see what happened to Rahil on Twitter today?
Oh,
He's
God,
like,
no.
man, yeah. He's like,
What
you know, this thing happened. There was an attack on people of certain faith. He's like, you know, as much as I love this country, you know, stuff like this happens like that. And he's like, some guy just went out of nowhere, was like, yeah, it's because you blah blah blah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everybody loves everybody. Everyone loves Will Ferrell. Why don't you listen to Will Ferrell? You know,
Yeah.
Jonah Hill stopped Kanye. Maybe Will Ferrell can stop the supremacists.
Please, Will.
Please. Oh, man.
From AJ, who would y'all say, great use of the word y'all, who would y'all say is the GOAT in each of the following 3 categories? MMA, boxing, and pro wrestling. Endo, are you an MMA fan at all?
I got my ass handed to me Undisputed once, and I said fuck that after that. So I just like the white boy, the Stephen Wonder Boy, white boy Thompson, Wonder Bread.
Stephen Wonder Bread Thompson.
Look at that white boy go, long ass arms. Oh man, I like
Beautiful.
Wonder Boy. Yeah,
beautiful. It's a good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
The correct answer, despite him being a massive head case, is John Jones.
Oh yeah, man! Do you see that video of him running through someone's driveway with a shotgun? Did you? This podcast is completely off the rails. We're not gonna talk about hockey at all. I swear to God.
I don't need to. It's fine.
It's fun. It's just, just call this like parent supervision needed. That's all it is. So there's a video of someone intruding on his property, and then you see the person run away, and then you just see fucking John Jones running through the thing just with a shotgun in his hand. Like you hear the footsteps. It's fucking, it kills me when I watch it. It is it's ridiculous.
This is what happens when Sin's away.
Yeah.
Like last week when you were away, he and I talked about hockey. Like the entire time. Your webcam froze, by the way. I don't know if that's
it's okay. New profile picture.
It's a great face though. That should be the thumbnail. Yeah, it was one of those things where he and I talked hockey for like the entire show. And then you and I get here, and within 20 minutes, it's hey, John Jones with a shotgun.
Yeah, it's killer.
Oh God, this is why. This is why we're here. The boxing GOAT,
Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay himself.
Yeah, told people to go fuck themselves and didn't go to Vietnam.
Yeah,
fucking
it's a real
king
American
right there. That is a real American right there. Like, I ain't gonna fucking die for your bullshit. It's an American right there.
Yeah.
God bless Muhammad Ali.
Patriot. A real patriot.
Damn right. A real patriot stands up to their fucking country and says, fuck you and your bullshit war. I'll sit at home.
Exactly.
Good man. The pro wrestling GOAT.
Now, are we talking about with pro wrestling? It's different because there's talent and then there's entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
because
who
you could
wins?
say talent. You could go with Shawn Michaels. You could go with Triple H's laugh. You can also, but if you're talking about like talent, you could go with Santino. Just ability on the microphone and like just that kind of thing for like, you know, being an entertainer. Like that man was like, you were gonna pay to be there, we're gonna make you a star, and he became a star in his own right. John Cena. becoming the fastest elimination in Royal Rumble history, which is like not even a second. God, I'm trying to think.
God. I mean, for me, number one, you're about to get kicked out of the country because there's one answer for a Canadian, and that is Bret
Kenny
Hart.
Omega. Okay.
Okay, no, you know, for modern purposes, you're okay. You did okay. You did all right. There's two
Yeah.
answers.
There's two answers there, yeah.
So you did well.
Tyson Smith himself.
I'm enjoying the Endo Mills getting back into wrestling redemption arc.
Man, it is. God, I love just men. Men.
Women.
We are tired of women. We need men. Oh man,
God, we got to get you on the wrestling podcast with Crash and I. So yesterday we're like, what are we going to talk about? Who knows? So what we ended up doing is there's a website known as cagematch.net, which is a wrestling database, and we were talking about a woman, a lady wrestler by the name of Nia Jax, who returned to WWE.
Oh yeah, my hole. My hole.
Yeah. Fucking meme lord. And I looked her up her page on Cage Match, and people can vote on anything, like a wrestler's ability, an event, a certain feud, like anything related to wrestling. They have a voting system available to the users of the site. And her rating out of 10 is a 2.64.
Yeah, because I know
people don't like her very much.
I know she has a history of injuring a lot of people in her matches.
Yeah.
And then there's like that. Not even a work. It was a shoot fight with her and Charlotte Flair or whatever, and they're just fucking chucking each other in the face. So I am relatively aware of some sort of wrestling stuff. All the memes and all that stuff is mostly my coverage.
It led us to going down the rabbit hole of who the worst, like the worst 100, basically, who had the lowest ratings on Cage Match.
Oh God, where's Enzo?
He wasn't in the bottom 100. Shockingly.
Wow.
Yeah. But there were some wrestlers where it's just like, what is your fucking name? And give me 1 second here. There was one name in particular that I am trying to remember. For the record, the person with the highest rating is a Japanese wrestler by the name of Kenta Kobashi.
Of course.
But at the there was there was Leo McTwist was in the bottom 100. I don't know who that is.
What a name.
Fucking yeah, I'm a wrestler. Oh, what's your name? Leo McTwist.
That's a snowboarding move right there. A big twist.
Yeah. There was also Dr. Gangrene. And we also talk about the legend known who had a military gimmick. Her name was G.I. Ho. So you don't even necessarily have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy the most recent edition of the Second Turnbuckle podcast, available on all audio platforms, of course. Yeah, Crash and I had fun with that one. It's a good time.
Now I hoe, and hoeing is half the battle. Oh man.
Oh God. Our final question comes from one Bouncy McBoink Boink. Would you rather only eat Olive Garden chicken fettuccine Alfredo for the rest of your life, or eat day-old refrigerated Chinese takeout? The caveat to the takeout is it can't be reheated and has to be the same two dishes. It is your choice on the takeout dish. Also, if you choose the Alfredo, you have to drink strawberry milk with it. And if you choose Chinese takeout, it has to be a McDonald's strawberry banana smoothie.
Okay, Bounce, I'm going to respond to him right now. Fuck this question. This question.
Bro, did you get dropped on your head as a child?
What is blood wobbling on about? There you go. You can even check Discord. It's right there. I even typed that out. God,
give
that's
me the
gross.
Chinese takeout.
Yeah, I haven't even. I've never had strawberry milk. Believe it or not,
No?
maybe I had it as a kid, but like, if I had it, if I had it, I would remember it. And I guess I must have had it and maybe not liked it. I don't know. I'm weird.
Strawberry milk's pretty good. Shout out to the Nesquik strawberry milk. It's solid. It's solid.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nesquik, not a sponsor. So fuck them. Thank you all for the lovely questions this week. Endo, they really gave you the quality to work with, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like it was a good welcome back to whatever the fuck this this place is. Whatever the fuck this podcast is in the off season.
Yeah. With that, we'll get into talking about a couple of things that we can mention here. First and foremost, NHL 24 had their presentation deep dive drop today, which, probably, and I told this to Tactics earlier, which first and foremost, very cool that they have gotten creators involved. There was not one for me. Which is okay, because I would have said no. If they're like, hey, talk about franchise changes this year, I would have been like, all right, thanks for watching. Because there's no gigantic franchise features coming. But yeah, no, I thought it was solid. But my biggest takeaway out of all of this is,
he talks fast.
Yes, exactly.
He talks fucking fast. I'm not sure if he was nervous.
He was speed running that shit.
Yo, bro, fucking gameplay trailer's done quick right there. Perfect. Like, he just in and out as soon as possible. Like, just get it done with. And yeah.
That is not a YouTuber that drags out the content to the 8-minute mark for mid-rolls.
Bam, right there. Just get it all in there. I will say, is that what you're going to talk about specifically, or?
I mean, just in general with that trailer, for me, like, the biggest takeaway was just the idea of, like, the continued divide between people who are like, okay, cool, versus, no, this is the worst thing ever added. They added Fortnite skins to Ishul, and it's like, man, like, really? Like, that's the backbreaker for you? Like, really?
Yeah, we live in a generation, in an era where everything's comparatism, where you see one thing, it's like, oh, it's definitely because of this and that. It's like, at the same time, it's good to have influence with other properties. I mean, Fortnite's a huge property, and the way things are set up, it's more ergonomic and easy to access. But in terms of the presentation stuff they added this year, good stuff. They added the brand new True Broadcast Cam, which is pretty sweet. And they, brought back full offline presentation, which is really funny because half the people in the fucking replies don't even watch the fucking video to know that there's that it's added into the game. They're like, oh, is there gonna be full presentation? It's like, my blood, like, buddy, please. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, these people. Yeah, you people. Man.
Nando's dropping at you people.
Yes. You fucking ignoramuses. Like, what is going on? I know I said like a few weeks ago that like this community's, questionable at times, and this is when it's questionable, but like, come on now. Come on. But you're thinking caps on. Let's go. Let's go.
I just can't help but view it of like, oh, I saw literally someone say like, oh, they're marketing to the wrong people. No, like, they're really not in the grand scheme of things. Like, you can have the most realistic hockey game out there in terms of presentation and whatever else. Is that necessarily going to grow the game and get people to play the game? Maybe. But at the same time, every fucking video game is doing this. The idea of who you trying to market to. Younger people, the TikTok generation, like, it's just that idea. And it's like, man, it doesn't bother me. It's like, oh, this jersey glows. Like, cool. But man, if that makes an 8-year-old kid interested, he's like, I kind of like hockey, and they has stuff like other games that I like, and gets them into the hockey game, might develop their interest in hockey more. Like, I don't see the negative to it whatsoever, really.
Here's what I say about this. Look at the game's ESRB rating. 9 out of 10 times, that is the target or the audience for a game. If the game is E for everyone, it's literally E for everyone. If it's E10, whatever. If it's fucking teen, it's mostly targeted toward teens, but your fucking parents are buying you a copy of the game anyway. But the target demographic for a sports game is everybody. Now, I understand people are saying, there should be like a dedicated build for competitive play. And yeah, sure. That's the route that NBA 2K has. The competitive builds and the regular builds are two separate games. Two entirely separate games. I found this out the hard way because I went to go play 2K against my cousin at the Raptors event that they had earlier this year. Shout out to Oway and Raptors for letting me come out and check that out. That was pretty sick. And they're two entirely different builds. Like, I can't even make a fucking shot in regular NBA. I couldn't make a fucking layup in the competitive build, like, at all. Like, I get, like, that could be a possibility down the road, but who has a bigger development team? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2K, and they have the resources to have that there. Like, the only reason why NHL and UFC are split up in two is because 2K dropped the license, and then EA went, hey, we have this new property, let's split their development studio in half. So, like, as much as I want to get on, like, the devs for, it's a different art style and everything, a different way to take the game, let the game come out first. Let the game be out. Let the game go out there. Like, they've already seen changes happen in game. Like, I saw something from Chris on Twitter, who's one of the creative directors for the game. Someone said, hey, this fourth ring in the Canadian Tire Center is like a static image thing. It doesn't really change. And he's like, oh shit, we'll get on that and change that. We've never seen that before in this community, in this generation of hockey games, from sports games. That the willingness to change something like that, like on a click of the hat, be like, hey, we'll get on that. We'll make sure it's more authentic. And I think a lot of people have been handed to them a lot of other games, with the resources and everything, that be able to get things in super, super quick. And, Stockholm Syndrome with the NHL series in this community, not knowing that things are going to get done the right way. I get why people are kind of hesitant on changes. I mean, I am too in the same way, but I trust people. And I know that spending my $90 Canadian, hopefully not, hit me up with a code clappy again. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. You're doing a good job. And I know that if I spend my money this year, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I'll have a video out on the main channel here, just kind of going over my thoughts on the whole presentation deep dive as well. But yeah, in a general sense, like I don't know. I feel like the only people who are, I almost feel like it's performative outrage at this point.
It is.
Just because
100%.
like this is the new direction for the game. It's like, it's a new direction in a lot of ways, but at the same time, like, it was always heading this direction from like an initial standpoint. And like I said, I get if people are like, oh, I don't like the gameplay. Cool, that's fine. But the idea of like, nope, that's the straw that broke the camel's back is this jersey or these like Fortnite-esque skins for an online game. Like, who the hell cares, man? I don't know. It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Just find something else to cry about. That's all it is. It's all people do is just go on and on and on and on and on about that stuff. Yeah. I just can't, man. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've just gotten older over the past like 2 years that I've been a part of this community and realize that it's just people just yelling nothingness to, at this point, it's not even performative. It's like, oh, I don't want to like the thing. I'm going to make my whole brand about not liking the thing. That's why I stopped watching Angry Joe. Because every review is just him it's literally just him yelling. I mean, it is in the name itself, right. But like, there's only so much negative content you can take in before you keep having a negative outlook on basically everything. Like
that's true.
Yeah. It's just, I just had enough of that stuff, Go outside, hold a hand, meet a girl or a guy or a person, enjoy yourself, drink some water, hydrate, clean yourself with Manscaped. Do that stuff. Don't spend your time on Twitter or X, now that I can do that in person now, and rant and rave about certain things. Enjoy yourself. You'll have a lot more lovely of a time than just being angry about a video game that you can optionally buy every year. You don't have to pay for it every year. You can wait till it's for free on EA Play or just pay to play the last game. Man,
It's funny.
choice.
It's funny that you mentioned Angry Joe because I mean I've been watching him for over a decade. Obviously some of his reviews for games that are really good. Obviously he tones it down. His annual Madden video. Here's the thing, right?
God,
I like Joe a lot, and at the same time, Soft Drink TV is someone I've had conversations with. He's hung out on Twitch a couple of times. Really nice guy. I don't like when certain people are just like, nope, I'm done with this. I'm not talking about it again. And that would be like the only critique I have of someone like Soft Drink was a couple of years ago. He's like, man, I'm done with the Madden content.
oh
And
man,
then he realized, oh shit, that's my most popular content.
him and Ryan Moody.
He's still putting out videos, which he should. His Madden 24 review has almost 500,000 views. And honestly, he fucking deserves it. He is a very, very good creator. I give him all the credit in the world. It's the same thing. Like Joe's Madden 24 review was, man, I'm tired of this. I'm done with this. He's going to put out a video about Madden 25 next year. Like, if you're phrasing it from the standpoint of like, man, I'm done with the perspective of having any hope, cool. Because guess what? I say the same fucking thing. That's why for the past month, whenever anyone's asked me like, hey, what do you think of Madden? It's always the same thing. It's Madden. Like, my hope for the franchise is gone, but I try to enjoy it for what it is. That idea of someone being like, oh, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Joe, you have a video with 900,000 views in 8 days. You're talking about Madden 25. That's gonna happen. You're not turning down those views. It's just fact.
Madden fucked up their naming scheme because Madden 25 already came out in like 2014. Because they're like, yeah, 25 years of Madden. And now it's like, what the fuck are we going to call Madden next year? 25.2? Like,
it'll still be Madden NFL 25 again, I'm sure.
25er?
Yeah, Madden 25er. Madden 25 again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I will say, those guys like Soft Drink, or there's one like Ryan Moody. I think that guy, man, I think out of all the ones who put out videos every year about a product and he's like, oh, I'm done with it. I think, I don't want to say the guy's scum, but he made a video the day after Madden passed. And he said, John Madden died for this. And I'm like, you can't fucking do that, man. Like, I get like it's a video game, but fuck, man, that's just mean.
Yeah.
There's being critical of a product, and then there's like profiting off of someone's passing to like put a narrative across, and like that's if you scoop that low, good, like congrats, I guess. But like I could never. No. I will smoke a pack in someone's name though, that's for sure. But I will never use someone's deceased name for benefit or for granted or anything like that.
With that, I wanted to quickly mention some actual hockey things. There wasn't too much in regards to what's happened over the past week. The only like positive news I would say is like the changes of captaincies around the league. Quinn Hughes being named the 15th captain in Vancouver Canucks franchise history, which is an interesting one. I don't think he necessarily, it's not a matter of not deserving, but at the same time, you almost would have thought that maybe someone like Pettersson would have been in the mix. And at the same time, you just gave more ammunition to Devils fans where it's like, yes, not only are you going to lose him, you're now going to lose your captain. So, congrats to Quinn Hughes is all I can say.
He's an interesting choice for a captain because he just looks fucking bored 24/7.
Those fucking player pictures that came
out.
He
looks like that image of Ben Affleck, just smoking outside with his cigarettes in the rain. Like, that's just him 24/7.
Yeah.
And I think I love the the video of the Canucks putting the C on the jersey, and the seamstress who was putting it on has the band that says "bitch" on it. I'm like, yes, yes.
That was amazing. What a
Oh,
find by people to just be like, oh, what the hell does that bracelet say?
bitch, yeah.
It was good.
Girl boss. Kate Keefe.
The Winnipeg Jets named Adam Lowry the captain of the team. He is the second most tenured player on the team after Mark Scheifele, who's in a contract year, and one of only 3 players signed beyond 2025, alongside Josh Morrissey and Kyle Connor. So it seems to be like my takeaway from it from the outside is like, oh, yeah, it's not the biggest name value player, but from Jets fans, I've only seen it as a positive. As like, yep, nope, that guy has the leadership quality. So I will take Jets fans' word for it. And congrats to Adam Lowry, who, when Bar Down does a trivia quiz of current NHL captains, I don't know how many people are going to get that one.
Yeah.
So not the most name value.
Yeah, not at all. One thing to mention, too, is that I believe Adam Lowry was the first pick from the Winnipeg Jets when they became the Winnipeg Jets before they were the Atlanta Thrashers. Might be a cool factoid there.
Might be. I'm going to look that up really quickly. If you're right, that's impressive.
3rd round, 67th pick.
Let's see. Well, yeah, okay, so Mark Scheifele was the first, and then he was second. So they went in the same draft.
Yeah.
Scheifele just made the team first, which isn't surprising. I mean, he was 7th overall. So, yeah.
Not at all.
Fair shout. And the Boston Bruins are apparently going to name a team captain this year. They're not going to wait after the retirement of Patrice Bergeron. That sound you just heard was me dying a little bit more on the inside. It's got to be Brad Marchand or Charlie McAvoy. It's either Marchand as the longest tenured person on this team, and what would be a very similar move to Bergeron getting the letter when Chara left the team. It was the idea of like, all right, yeah, he's not going to have it for long, but it's, hey, thank you for your service. And Brad Marchand, now 35 years old, by the way, has 2 years left on his deal. I could see it being Brad Marchand, but at the same time, Charlie McAvoy is under contract for 7 more seasons. So it's got to be one of those two. I would like for it to be Brad Marchand because I think the Bruins' identity now is going to be kind of what Brad Marchand's identity was for a while, of just this quote unquote undersized shit disturber that plays the game a certain way to get ahead because they don't have the most complete roster anymore. So, let's bring in Milan Lucic and have that bit of extra grit. I think Brad Marchand should be the captain of this team.
Yeah, it would be a good representation of, that never back down, never give up mentality. Also, those jerseys are going to have sparkles on it.
Yeah, the like gold trim on the Bruins jerseys this year is going to be like super Vegas shiny gold, which
make hockey sparkly. Make hockey sparkly.
Well, speaking of making hockey gay,
that's not what I meant, but go ahead.
A positive statement, by the way. God damn it. I wasn't going to mention it, but hey, whatever. I had to take advantage of that segue. Mikhail Sergachev made an ass out of himself. It was Slava Malamud that reported, which, by the way, a lot of people are like, it could have been lost in translation. Slava Malamud speaks Russian. Mikhail Sergachev in Russian media voicing support for Ivan Provorov, saying that, quote, cancel culture in America is worse than in Russia, where people are jailed for protesting the special military operation that's going on. And that, quote, liberals and Democrats try to suffocate Russians. A reminder, Ivan Provorov did not miss a single game this past season. He wasn't fined a penny. His jersey sales went up because of dumbass people. And no government, as I saw this quoted on Reddit, no government, American or otherwise, persecuted or in any way inhibited Provorov's rights or freedoms as a result of his statements. If anything, Ivan Provorov was the opposite of canceled. He was the one doing the canceling because he started that snowball effect, and now, hey, we don't have Pride warm-up jerseys anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, this is exactly where I said this was going to go. And this is why I bring this up. When people are like, oh, it's not a big deal, it's just one player. Go back and listen to those shows from this past season. It's exactly what I and many others said was going to happen, is that these players were going to win this whole little thing that they were looking to do, and they did. Congratulations to them, but at the same time, they have to play the victim card because it's all a big fucking grift. Anyway, that brings us to our final topic. Speaking of grifters, Mike Babcock. This whole to-do over Mike Babcock, which, boy, didn't I say this is what the Blue Jackets were signing up for? So this started thanks to Paul Bissonnette and Spittin' Chicklets.
Oh man, I think the one thing that people hate about this is, given the reputation of Chicklets and Bissonnette and the culture around there, I think people are hating this because it came from them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a part of it.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the thing. People can, like, if you have a negative take on Paul Bissonnette, on Spittin' Chicklets, on that part of hockey culture, because let's be honest, a lot of people who support that show are the very stereotypical dude bro hockey guys that a lot of people are annoyed by. Wonder why. But they put out exactly, the worst person made a great point. Thank you, Endo. They put out on their podcast that Biz had been informed that Mike Babcock had allegedly been asking various Blue Jackets players to see their phones and then airplaying photos on his office TV, was how they phrased it. The Blue Jackets put out a statement from both Mike Babcock and captain of the team. If I'm not, Boone Jenner's the captain.
Yeah,
right?
Boone Jenner Chevrolet.
Yeah, Boone Jenner Chevrolet, captain of the Blue Jackets. Basically saying, like, hey, it wasn't that big of a deal. And for the most part, that looked like it was going to be where it died out, that it was going to be he said, she said. Bissonnette doubled down on social media saying, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not putting this out there for no reason, which, yeah, that's about what you would expect Paul Bissonnette to do in response. His actual tweet, quote, if you think the Spittin' Chicklets podcast rolls out that story without confirming it with a member of the team, you need a brain transplant. So, got him.
What a word.
Fucking
Bam.
got him. But what led up to this essentially is what Chicklets was reporting. A lot of members of the Players Association weren't initially backing up until this investigation started, and it's a lot of the younger players that were feeling uncomfortable about what took place. And right now it is still he said, she said in regards to, okay, was he actively handling players' phones and looking through their photos? Were things just airdropped onto the screen? The bottom line is, and Michael Russo of The Athletic was quoted in saying this today, trust me when I tell you that there were players in Columbus that were absolutely weirded out by the situation and that this is not going away. This is a major problem right now. There is an ongoing review involving the NHLPA that's been taking place. Right now, it's tough to comment on this despite it being the biggest story in hockey because we still do not know all of the facts. There is, of course, the possibility that Mike Babcock did not intend to weird anybody out or to do anything overly manipulative, but ultimately did. But there is also the idea of, here is this guy up to his old tricks. The Mitch Marner, hey, Mitch, write down a list. Oops, that list got out. Mike Babcock does not get the benefit of the doubt in this situation because of his history and the reputation that he has earned through his prior actions. We are not even in fucking training camp yet. The preseason, and here something has already popped up. There is going to be that side that's like, oh, well, it's just because he's an easy target. But again, he is an easy target because of his own actions. If a story like this comes out about Bruce Boudreau as a head coach, you're going to be like, yeah, maybe something happened, but I don't think Bruce meant it. And that's because of the reputation of Bruce Boudreau as a really nice and honest man. Mike Babcock does not have that anymore. And all I can say right now is whether or not this was something nefarious or just a dumb old man making a mistake. I have no sympathy for Mike Babcock or the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is what you fucking signed up for. I'm sorry, but it is. And at the end of the day, you still cannot convince me that this head coach, who has not won anything in 15 years, you cannot convince me that him and all of his baggage still represented a better option for you moving forward than another coach that's either out there with prior experience or, shocking concept, a new coach that might have finally deserved their chance at the highest level, whether it be from the AHL, from the NCAA, someone over from Europe. There are plenty of options out there that you could have gone with, but you went with the desperation move of Mike Babcock saying, nope, we're not worried about his reputation. We're worried about the fact that, well, he won. He's won before 15 years ago, but he could win again with us. This is what you signed up for. It's called the Tougie Steak Podcast for a reason. There is my take. We'll see whether or not he gets fired from this. He very well could. And as I've seen a lot of people say, it's always the ones that you most suspect. Endo, any thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think you've said basically everything I wanted to say. Like, if the guy didn't have a reputation for any of this stuff, I think people wouldn't think anything of it. I do think that one point that I think Chilson, of all people, he's been very outspoken about Mike Babcock being on his team because he is a Columbus Blue Jackets fan. Maybe we could have him on the show during the time that we have for talks about the divisions and everything. That'd be really interesting. Be good to hear from him again. And he said that, it's different. It's a different feeling from an older person and a younger person being asked to go through their phones. As a young person, I was very self-conscious about my phone and everything. I don't want people to take away my phone and go through my shit. I don't have anything to hide, but I just think it's kind of like
it's an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, it's invasion of privacy. And whereas an older person is kind of like, yeah, whatever, cool. I don't really have much on my phone or whatever. But I do see like where the issue does lie, and you're invading someone's personal space. Whether or not you intend to basically step on any boundaries or anything, that's another story. But it still is kind of it's weird. I always say that it is kind of weird. If it's like, oh, how'd you do in the summer? Oh, you went to over here and there. Do you have any pictures to show me? Yeah, sure, whatever. But then, hypothetically airdropping it onto the TV and showing up on a giant screen, and this could be like in an office room where like the glasses are like see through or wherever everyone can see what's going on. I don't know, man. I'm not going to look too much into it itself, but I think Babcock reputation not looking too good. Just not looking too good at all.
Michael Russo also mentioned in the audio clip that previous quote was taken from. The way I'm hearing it from players was that he was pulling people in and saying, show me your phone, like on the spot was his quote about this. And yeah, like you're going to have, like you said, that divide of a veteran player like Boone Jenner will be like, yeah, sure, whatever, man. A younger player who might be on the bubble on that team, that is where the power dynamic comes in. I can't say no to this new head coach. Like, I'm trying to make the team here. And you're going to say yes, even if you're uncomfortable. And that is the continued abuse of the whole power dynamic that apparently Mike needed his daughter to really talk to him about and get him to understand. And there is a chance that in record time, you already forgot the lessons that your own daughter talked to you about, apparently. Man, I don't even know. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, boy, how could you possibly have seen this coming when everybody saw it coming? Like, again, just record time. And, you know, at the same time, I do want to mention, shout out to Darren Dreger and Nasher getting into it on Twitter. That was good. Oh my God. I feel bad. I feel bad for Nasher. I do. Like, I genuinely do think that he is a good dude who just wanted to be hyped up about the Blue Jackets. Because we all know it is his team. It's been a suffering fan base for a long time. He went after a quote from Darren Dreger, which I don't think Darren can really stand by this quote, by the way. Based on the information that has been discovered and percolated to the great use of the term percolated, by the way, percolated to the surface in the last 48 hours, I think there's a chance Babcock's job could be in question. I'm not reporting or predicting that it's going to happen, but there's a chance. To which Nasher just says, man, I want this to be over, but also this quote is meaningless. Saying, I won't report on it, but there's a chance equals if I'm right, I said it first. If I'm wrong, I didn't. And Darren Dreger responds to Nasher, your tweet's meaningless. I doubt many people care what you want. Let's see how it plays out.
He's like, oh, yeah? Well, your mother.
Basically.
That's the journalism, your mother. Oh, my God. God. Fuck, that's the greatest way to put it. It's just when you want to be professional but also tell someone off, yeah, you know, no one cares what you want, your mother. Not my mother, your mother.
So a big shout out to Nasher who dragged Darren Dreger into one of the funniest tweets of the season, and the season hasn't even started yet. So that was beautiful. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, we are still on a once per week basis until
I'm tweeting that.
I think it was next week, right? No. The season starts October 9th, if I am not mistaken. The NHL season, when the hell does the NHL season start?
I think it's
October
the week.
10th. October 10th.
Wow.
Which is Tuesday, October 10th. So yeah, next week, the week of September 18th, we are still on a 1-a-week basis. And then after that, the final week of September, we're going to be moving back into our 2-a-week format with the new season, starting off with our season previews as well for each division. Got some guests lined up that should be pretty fun for those. And then, yeah, before you know it, the NHL season will be here. And, Mike Babcock might not be, which doesn't exactly feel like a major loss for the hockey world, if we're being honest. But, yeah, Endo, with that, I think we can wind things down for today. Yeah. Also, yes, tremendous.
Yeah.
Endo's on fire on Twitter. Make sure to follow the man.
X.
On X, yes.
I will say,
what do you got going on?
Not even about me. What's going on right now? I just saw Thrash post a picture of some of the players revealed for NHL 24. They already have Connor Bedard's face scan in there, so that's pretty cool. And then you have JFresh showing face scans for NHL 09. It's like, yeah, no shit, they look realistic because they're using face scans. Those are actual faces. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't understand people. Because the NHL 09 was an actual picture of someone's fucking face. It was literally just the picture of someone's face. People are like, molded. Oh wow, face scans from NHL 04 look really great in comparison to the modern day. Because it was literally a photograph of their fucking face. Face scans are different because you're putting it into the actual artistic representation of the game.
Right.
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
It's JPEGs versus a fully rendered model. Of course, the JPEG is going to look better than the model because you're not used to the model. Because I will just go on this little tangent for just a little bit longer. There is something in robotics and in like facial stuff where it's uncanny valley, where something looks too realistic and it gets really, really fucking weird. You can't make it look too realistic because it gets really fucking weird because of, motions and faces and everything. When they score on the bench, their mouths go like wow, like their mouths go open wide and all that. Yeah, that's uncanny valley. When they just put a fucking JPEG on someone's face, like, yeah, that's Chris Tanev, that's his fucking face in a JPEG. It's gonna look at Chris Tanev, but it's the fucking face of a JPEG. It's gonna look a little bit weird and more close to uncanny valley because you're recreating a face using 3D modeling and textures. Flat out. Anyway, stuff that I got going on. Streaming hopefully next week. That's it. Talk about NHL 24. Sure. Probably just gonna play a bunch of other random games. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be here with the podcast doing, podcasty things. That's me.
I got nothing else to add. I appreciate the rant.
Yeah. Like, man, it's funny because you want to tell people how certain things are, but then you also realize people really don't give a fuck. Flat out. You're like, oh, I want to explain to you this thing. No, don't care. Too lazy. Whatever. Devs need to be defunded. Defund EA. Like, we have this is the reason why it is the way it is. Open your fucking brains and listen. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Tougies Take podcast. I'm Endo, Endurance. It's just Endo. That's my old name. Endurance M. You can find me everywhere, wherever it is. Tougie, the mainstay of this podcast, every night live streams on Twitch. He has a pizza night to go to tonight, I believe, with his fiance, and enjoy the pizza because every Friday is pizza night. Go enjoy that. Have fun. Make a pizza. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.